All right, howlers, let's get howling. But first, a couple quick warnings. First warning, this podcast contains adult content.
Don't be a pixie.
Second warning, this podcast contains spoilers for the entire Red Rising saga, including through the end of Lightbringer.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Etsy, and on YouTube. Subscribe. See Ben's face and his cool wrestling shirts. Like and share. What are you supposed to say?
Like, comment, subscribe, I believe.
Hell yeah, brother. Email us, HowlerPod@gmail.com, and rate and review us 5 stars only. If you don't give us 5 stars only, then we won't return your best friend's head.
And now, HowlerPod. Oh!
You know what I told myself out there? Each time my mistakes compounded, I'd say, Darrow, next time you listen to Virginia, you jackass. If you get so lucky as to see her again. You listen to her as you should have all along.
Hello, howlers. Welcome to HowlerPod, your podcast for all things Red Rising, where every episode we dive deep to break down, celebrate, and discuss all aspects of the fantastic Red Rising saga by Howler number 1, Pierce Brown.
Ow, ow!
I am your host, Ben Reinert. I am joined today, as always, by the amazing Erin Ayers.
Low, howlers! Pew, 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 pew.
Erin, what are we doing today?
Chapters 32 to 36 of Lightbringer.
No special guest today, just OG HowlerPod.
I'm the special guest.
You're the special guest. All right. Let's load up this Star Show and shoot straight into our chapter summaries.
Hopefully we don't shit all suits. Okay, chapter 32, Virginia. Paulé, which reminds me of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Paulé.
Paulé.
Keira Knightley. Great. Lysander and Virginia meet face to face. They fall back on tradition, exchanging some light insults back and forth. Lysander says that Virginia has been outmaneuvered. She reminds him that winning one battle does not make him a lord of war. Virginia says that he has her by the balls, but she is a woman, and she will leave the Rat Legion to pester him in the tunnels. Death by 1,000 tiny cuts. They agree that Atalantia is a problem that they share. Lysander tells Virginia that he's not Octavia, same as she's not Nero, and that he has a solution for them both. He guarantees safe passage to Mars in return for her not sabotaging the moon while they leave. This way, the Republic lives to fight another day. Virginia wants more than a vague notion of his intent against Atalantia. Lysander says that he intends to dethrone her from the dictatorship and then challenge her in the bleeding place and kill her. He tells Virginia that she killed his parents, so he has cause for blood. They then exchange a Telemanus for a votum. Lysander also requests Ajax's head back. Virginia then meets with her commanders, and they're upset at the deal that she struck with Lysander, all but Holiday. Because Holiday is not a traitor.
She's our budding Politico.
Yes. Holiday is on board. That this way, Atalantia and Lysander and the rest of the society will tear each other apart while they regroup on Mars. Cavix then enters in a wheelchair, and Victra almost sheds a tear.
I said I wouldn't cry. All right, chapter 33, Lysander, master of the spoils. As the transfer of Phobos is completed, Lysander holds his battle honors ceremony. He honors the surviving victors with phalaria and speeches and tears for the fallen. As part of the ceremony, he gives Pytha the civic crown, the highest decoration a general can give. More speeches, more honors. We are the shepherds, blah, blah, blah. You get it. At the after party, Lysander is pretty pleased with himself, but his work is not done. Now, he is going to convince everybody to drop a surprise iron rain on Mars in 3 days' time. He starts with Julia and gets her buy-in by offering her the governorship of Mars. Next up, it's the Moonies. After he reiterates his bona fides, he's a reformer. He's serious about repairing the relationship with the Moonies. Dido says, I'm in. Lysander goes to find Diomedes and tell him the good news. He finds him in the garden, and they look at flowers together. And just as Lysander is getting to the good part about how him and Diomedes are going to be falling in an iron rain together on Mars, Lysander starts bleeding out of his eye. Uh-oh. He's been poisoned.
I know.
Lysander collapses in pain and passes out as help is called.
I'm going to interject here. I forgot that he was poisoned at this part. So I was like, do they fall in an iron rain? And I forgot about it. And then the minute he starts bleeding, I was like, oh, right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And I know who did it. Chapter 34, Virginia, remember Earth. Virginia is nervous. She answers a call from the Archimedes while still in the queue down to Mars. We get a low Mustang, low Reaper, not low husband, low wife,
I know.
but close.
Yep.
Darrow and Mustang exchange coded information to confirm it's really them and not an imitation program. They both pass. Virginia and Darrow then update each other on who's alive on both sides. Virginia tells Darrow that they just completed a full evacuation after surrendering the moon to Loon, and he doesn't seem very happy about that. She's also nervous about him coming home. They will catch the Archimedes if he tries to approach. She explains that she can't come out and get them with the fleet because they have to ground their ships. Also, she doesn't need this version of Darrow. She needs Warlord Darrow with a full armada or like some plan. She tells him that he can't come home. He's very sad. He didn't come all this way just to sail past Mars. Virginia says she needs him out there working on building strength while she keeps Mars holding strong. Darrow regrets leaving in the first place, and he says that he will listen to his sovereign's orders this time.
Good call, Darrow. Chapter 35, Darrow, Winds of Duty. A hologram of Mustang floats in the lounge of the Archimedes as Darrow, Severo, and Cassius watch. Quickly, they learn the bad news. They aren't going to Mars. Mustang gives them the 411 on the current situation around Mars and their new mission. They're going to find Quicksilver. Severo, he's not happy, and he asks to see Victra and his new baby. Yikes. Tough. Mustang tells him that they are on planet already, which is true.
Not
Not
the
a lie.
baby.
It's
No,
buried
Mustang
on
says
Mars.
Victra's on planet.
Oh, she's on planet. Well, the baby's also there. Just not alive. He stalks off after some bitter commentary about his time with Abominadrius.
Yeah.
Cassius gets up to leave as well, but Mustang stops him and offers him a battlefield promotion. Morning Knight of the Republic.
Congratulations.
Cassius says it would be his honor. Darrow and Mustang's time together is running out. She quickly tells him about Lyria, and he tells her about the daughters of Ares. She advises against going out to Ilium. She's afraid of what they might do to him. She promises to hold Mars as long as she can, and Darrow starts to tell her a message for Pax, but the transmission is cut before he can finish. The vibes are not good on the ship afterwards.
Pretty sad.
Everybody's sad. They're now farther away from Mars than they were when the day started. Ore's playing a sad song on her lyre. Cassius and Darrow are just letting the music take them away.
Everyone's crying.
Drinking some wine. They cheers to the Republic and their new mission as they head off to bed. And then Darrow's in his bunk. He's staring at the words of House Loon that were carved in there by Lysander.
Ew.
Lux et tenebris, out of darkness light. Darrow reflects. He's feeling purpose and hope like he hasn't in some time, and he's going to hold on to it, God damn it.
Hell yeah. Chapter 36, Lysander Jurisdiction. Pytha wakes Lysander up. He awakens into pain. The Praetorians enter in force. Kuiper threatens Cicero, step back from the blood. That's my best TGR impression. Rowan enters, and he's pissed. He ordered them to not wake him up. Lysander then stirs. The group catches him up on what he's missed. He's been out for 8 days. They caught Atalantia's, quote, assassin, the pink acrobat, allegedly. The rain also did not fall, and the Rim are abandoning the siege. Diomedes has been asking for Lysander. Lysander says, show him in. Rowan objects, but then lets Diomedes in. Fa saw his chance and exploited it. His goal seems to be war with the Rim now. Diomedes is sorry to leave, but his armadas are closer than the Shadow Armada, and they must protect their home system. Diomedes asks Lysander to come with him and prove to everyone that this alliance is more than just convenience. He offers to give Lysander the shield of Akari. Ooh. Ah. Lysander explains to his allies that he plans to go with Diomedes. He will leave Apple and Julia to run Phobos in his absence. Julia says, okay, don't die, because she's looking at Apple like, this motherfucker's crazy. Lysander then heads off to join Diomedes. Roan makes a big show of telling Lysander that he shouldn't go to the Rim. Roan's really, said more words in these last few chapters than ever before.
He's really feeling himself.
Yeah, it's like he's up to something. They meet up with Diomedes and Dido, who tell them that Helios has taken Imperium of both fleets. Helios. This is Helios, right?
This is the real Helios, yeah.
No, this is Helios.
No, I think it's real Helios.
When is it not the real Helios?
When he goes off on a mission and then he comes back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking this whole time it wasn't.
No.
Helios. All right.
You're too suspicious.
I'm like, where was I? Helios tells Lysander that he can only bring 10 of his Praetorians onto the Dustmaker and the rest can follow on the Lightbringer. Lysander looks for Kuiper, but she was apparently shot by a sniper, even though he just saw her, and is recovering in the med bay, so can't join them.
She's going to get the next ship.
Yeah.
Cool. Good chapters. That's the end of part 2.
Yes.
We're halfway.
And Ben, what's the theme for these chapters?
The theme for this week's chapters is trust.
Or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof. Lots of characters having to trust each other this week.
Yes, even enemies.
Yes. Let's start with a quote from Mustang.
But in the end, it all comes down to trust. Trust that neither of us wants to die, and trust that we both have more to gain from an adversary with some modicum of social comportment.
This is Mustang, obviously talking about her meeting with Lysander.
Yes.
What'd you get out of that meeting? What'd you think?
I liked that we saw Mustang with Lysander. First of all, I guess I always saw Lysander as like a little boy still. So like her describing that, like he's a head and a half taller than her and his hands are bigger than hers. And I'm like, oh, he's not like a little bitch. Mm-hmm. The way he acts.
It does seem like he still has a little boy crush on Mustang, though, doesn't it?
Oh, you think?
I feel like so. I don't know. I feel like his leftover.
They're both kind of being rude to each other, though.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of like nagging back and forth.
Sure.
And
I didn't see it as flirtatious. I saw it as like.
No, not flirtatious.
Oh, yeah.
But I just think he thinks of her very fondly.
Sure.
And to me, that reads schoolboy crush. She is like being Mustang, obviously, and just like being smart and witty and stuff. So
yeah,
I really enjoyed the back and forth between the two of them, especially like them using each other to find information and then like find a common ground. And ultimately they do have to trust that, you know, that this person will let them retreat. And
yeah. And like in the quote, the only way they're meeting is that they are trusting that neither of them wants to die.
Neither of them wants to die, and both also that they don't want like hundreds of thousands of more people to get killed.
Yeah.
To have to die. You know,
they're both more political than warlord.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, I think to a degree. I think Lysander is willing to do whatever, and he would sacrifice all those people, but he's like, that would be tough and bad for my reputation. So It's not really what I want to do. He sees it more as a math problem, and I think Mustang sees it more as like, yeah, I don't want to have to kill
a saving lives problem.
all these
I
men.
think too that Lysander thinks that the tunnel fighting and all that would wear them thin, and this is obviously a better solution.
Right. And it just leaves him vulnerable to Atalantia showing up at any time.
While they're dealing with the legions, Rat Legion. But yeah, so they have to trust that when they turn around that they're both going to do what they said.
Yep.
And I think it's interesting later when Cassius says that
I was going to bring that up.
Lysander wants to follow his word, but he
won't.
He doesn't always.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very interesting. And that will come into play, I think, a lot down the road here.
Like, he wants to be a good person, but he's just not. He just doesn't keep his word if it's not convenient for him.
I thought that, yeah, exactly. I think that's the important part, is if it's not convenient for him. Because he's ultimately always playing this game. And I'll talk about this in the Prime 5 because it was one of the things I was thinking about. But just how much Lysander's, he's just very calculated always. Mm-hmm. And everything is, whether it adds up and is benefiting his path. And to me, that's what makes him unlikable. And so I think we'll talk about that later as well.
I love talking about why he's unlikable.
Okay, we have another quote from Mustang here because Darrow, he has to learn to trust his sovereign.
Yes.
Trust his wife. And she knows what's best.
Darrow, my love, if you've ever trusted me, trust me now. The enemy wants you to return. They want all of us in one place so they can exterminate us. If you come here, all you can do is wait for them to attack. If you are out there, you can work on the problem.
So here we've got Mustang really laying out like why Darrow cannot come back to Mars, and he has to trust that this is the right decision. I think she does a really great job of like laying this out.
Yeah.
And like, it's really a bad idea for you to come back here right now.
Yeah. Then, they're all trapped there and no one can get out. That sounds like a swift way to die.
There's really nothing you can do here to help that situation.
Yeah.
Like, we're fucked. So
and
all we can do is just hold the planet, and we can do that without you. The way that we're going to get out of this problem is for you to be on the outside, marshaling forces, doing whatever to bring something back to help us break out of this.
Yeah. I also think it's interesting in this combo together, Mustang points out that he should not go to the rim.
Yeah.
Because they hold a grudge and he blew them all up.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's fine.
They don't even want to meet with me.
Yeah, we've got Severo. Severo's a loose
Which
cannon.
ultimately does work, but it is.
Didn't he promise though to serve his time?
I did feel like that was interesting, where he listens to her in one way, but in another he doesn't. I guess that's down the road further. He's listening to her, and that his only option once they meet with Quicksilver is to go further out into Ilion because they don't have anything else. So it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Oh yeah,
I think is the saying there.
You're so old.
Somebody said that to me the other day, so that's why I had to use it.
Oh, sure.
All right, let's go on to Darrow. We've got a quote from him, and this is him talking about how and why he is going to trust Mustang.
It's the fucking path.
And I feel like
I need to read this book.
We are really on record since like Iron Gold podcast. Like there's a lot of audio clips of us out there being like, Darrow should listen to Mustang.
Obviously.
We're on record with that one.
Yes.
So
before this book came out.
Yes, way before this book came out. So I just want to say
that we were right, Darrow.
We were right.
Darrow should listen to us.
We've been saying listen to Mustang for a lot of years.
The words of my enemy hang over my head, and I feel purpose in a way I haven't felt in some time. I have done what I promised myself I would do in the prison that was Marcher 1632. I listened to Virginia. Now the rest is up to me.
You finally listened to someone. Good job.
All it took was almost dying a million times, losing your whole army, getting radiation poisoning, being stuck on a trash moon.
On a trash moon, yeah.
And then finding the path.
That's
all it took.
Yes, I love this moment where he's just like finally realizing this, and then also that he has a purpose again, and he now has this like focus or like what he's going to do. Like his path is clear at this point. Before it was like, got to get back to Mars and then we'll figure it out. Now they know they can't go back to Mars, but there's clearly something they can do to help the effort and the war at this point. and that is to find a new fighting force, a new armada to help them out. And so I think now that he's got this purpose, I love kind of the way that part 2 ends with him and this quote where he's like, now it's up to me. I can do this. It's like, this feels like Darrow again to me. Like we're getting out of like this sad boy, dark vibes Darrow.
Well, now he has a purpose too. Virginia gave him something to do.
Yes, like redirected him. So I love that aspect of it. And then our last quote under our theme of trust is Diomedes appealing to Lysander, because at this point, this is when we find out that Ilium has been attacked by the terrible, horrible, no good Volsung Fa.
Not a fraud at all. He's very scary.
And they're like, we're out. We got to go protect Demeter's garter.
Yes.
Because
apparently it can never fall. Rokoff Fabii couldn't even penetrate. So how could a obsidian?
They've got to get out there, and he's appealing to Lysander now. He's like, dude, you've said it. You've done everything you said you would do.
Yeah.
But I need you to do this one thing. Like, let's really prove it. We are going to bring the core and the rim together for good. We're the new fucking...
Like, when the rim needs the core, they also come help.
We're Selenius and Akari reborn. That's us. And I'll give you the shield of Akari, bro.
You did what you said you would do. I worry. I know Atlantia is not that sort of leader. I fear her. If we leave, the alliance will break. But we must leave, so you must come with us. Prove to Helios, to all, this alliance is more than just convenience. Prove it is the future. We do not live in the shadow of Raya. We make our own light.
Wow. Excellent work there, Nick.
Yes. Beautifully done.
So this is Diomedes, like, basically asking Lysander to come along, to trust him, and trust that he can change the minds of all of the isolationists out in Ilium with this one move. If he makes this gesture and Lysander joins them, then they can actually do something to make a difference. Because there's isolationists on both sides, right? There's like the hardcore Ilium isolationists like Helios, and then there's also the core people who are just like these fucking Moonies. How about these guys? They're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Hardcore.
Yeah, like we will never meet up with them. And they're like, they're our past enemy. They see them as enemies because they've been warring for 60 years, basically.
Yeah,
so,
since they blew up Rhea, right?
Yeah.
Or even before.
Yes, since the first Moonlord Rebellion.
Yeah.
So
I would rebel too. Jeez.
Right.
So far away.
So they're building this new bond of trust between Lysander and Diomedes. And it's a good ideal. I mean...
Yeah, it's interesting to see Diomedes here before he realizes Lysander is a shithead.
Yeah.
Where he like really thinks he can trust him. And he can to a point. I mean, Lysander saves his life at the cost of his own pretty soon here. But then he doesn't think Lysander will go back on his word, which is where he's a little too hopeful.
Right. Yeah, there is like merit to this whole thing, but ultimately it's unfounded.
And then I think that's what drives Diomedes into the arms of Darrow.
And we'll take him.
Yes,
we've got open arms.
We love you, Diomedes.
All right, that's our theme today. Trust in each other, guys.
There was like a full, is it NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? Oh my god, don't at me. But in Virginia's chapter, she says, quote, "It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do," which is the hardest thing I'd ever have to do. To look you in the eye. Yeah?
Not ringing a bell for me.
Tell you I don't love you.
I mean, kind of. Yeah.
There is no turning back.
Take it away, Aaron.
Fuck. Is that NSYNC? I don't know. I was an NSYNC girly, but obviously I'm a millennial, so.
All right, let's get on to our next segment. How was Cassius hilarious?
Yay,
today?
finally!
I know. He was back just slightly.
Was he funny?
I don't think he was like hilarious today, but he was. There was a fun little like made me smile moment when they're cheersing the wine, and then he's like, he's pouring the wine, and he's already been drinking a lot, obviously, and then Darrow's like kind of like raises his eyebrows at him, and he's like, "Okay, I'll just have a little bit
and he takes
more."
a smaller glass.
Yes, so I thought that was cute.
He gives himself the smallest portion.
Yes, smallest portion. Yeah.
He didn't get more.
Yes.
I'm sure he drank more once no one was looking.
But, I mean, part 3, we're about to be into prime How's Cassius hilarious.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited for you.
Oh, me too.
Okay, now let's go into our prime 5.
5 of our favorite insights and observations from this week's chapters.
Okay, we have more Praetorian shadiness, and it got real shady. Kuiper getting sniped is crazy, but also Roan
is just acting a fool.
He's running around like running his mouth, talking out of turn.
Yeah.
That's why I thought, so he's already bought.
So I went and checked this. And so
oh, in the future?
Yes, just so we make sure and have it right. Yes, because they have him and Lysander have a conversation about it.
Okay.
And so what happens is Atlas approaches Roan after the Battle of Phobos.
So now Roan's bought off.
He is now
and is that why he's
working with
talking
Atlas.
A lot more?
Yes.
So clearly Atlas does not want Lysander to go to the rim.
No, definitely not.
Roan's doing everything in his power
to keep him there.
He's poisoning him.
Yes.
He's trying to keep him asleep. Mm-hmm. He's like pleading with him not to get on the ship.
And just because Roan just started working with Atlas now doesn't mean like there wasn't shadiness before. Like you've got to think about if someone's going to be mutinous, like there's things that lead up to that, like making that decision. It's not like he would be all in on Lysander and then just all of a sudden be like, well, I'm going to betray him. Like there's a pattern of behavior that leads up to a seminal moment. And then he's approached by Atlas and then he joins up with Atlas at that point.
Was it Julia that sent Lysander the Praetorians on Mercury?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if she was pulling any
strings. They take their job very seriously, protecting the blood and whatnot, but really what Roan comes down to is like he has this very special group within the Praetorians that was his kennel.
13.
That he grew up with. And so there was like 100 of his kennel that made the Praetorian Guard, which never happens. And so they're like all his brothers and sisters, basically. And so a bunch of them died in the first battle with the Moonies with Darrow. And then more of them died protecting Luna when Darrow attacked Luna. And so then like all of the, and he basically blames the Moon Lords for their deaths.
So very anti-Moony.
Yes, very anti-Moony is where this is all coming from. And so the only people that are left of his kennel that are like his like blood brothers and sisters are Marcus, that group. So
what? But Kuiper's like an outsider.
Kuiper's not part of his inner circle.
But still 13.
But still part of the Praetorian Guard and Legio 13. Yeah. So
okay.
So yes, he's like this very specific like inner circle that he considers like family. He's pissed about them getting killed by Moonies.
So then he doesn't like that Lysander's so mushy with Moonies.
Yes. And so that's really what's driving all of his behavior here is like he is pissed about that. It's a payback for his friends that died, and he does not want any kind of alliance with the Moonies. Like he just doesn't see that as he sees them as traitors.
Yeah. So he tries to poison Lysander to get him to stay. Then he doesn't wake him up. Then Lysander sees Kuiper 1 second, and then the next second she's gone.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, there was a sniper. And then Lysander even is like, snipers?
Yeah.
Like, Virginia wouldn't leave snipers, basically.
But he's like in that foggy pain state, so he doesn't really do the whole Lysander.
But it does.
Later on, I think he does comment about it being weird.
Yeah.
But there's definitely like multiple times where Roan just like straight up is like, dude, you cannot go. You shouldn't go. Yeah, like he's
and then
just really trying to
Lysander
stop him.
finally is like, do I need to leave you here?
Yeah.
You're acting a fool.
All right, what's next on our Prime 5 list?
You should probably take it.
Cassius, Morning Knight of the Republic.
He's been knighted now 3 times? Twice.
Twice, I guess.
I guess twice.
Yeah.
He's the knight of your heart.
Oof. I mean, it was a pretty cool moment. I mean, and just
Mustang knows how to keep people on her side.
Yes. I think that's a great call. It's just like a really good move, like by Mustang. Not only does it like bring him into the fold with the Republic, but it just binds him even closer to Darrow, protecting Darrow, all that type of thing. So that was just a really cool, quick moment.
Do you think that being knighted, Morning Knight, contributed to his death at all?
No.
Him saying, I must?
I think that's just Cassius.
Okay.
Yeah, that's who he is in the inside.
A knight.
Yeah.
He's just a knight.
An honorable knight.
Are you sad? I'll ask you later.
It was cool to see them all 4 together, though, again, even though it was on a hologram.
Yes.
So that was pretty great. Even though
Only
Severo's
Victra
being a
could've been.
fucking bitch.
Well, of course he is. He thinks he has a new baby. And he does not.
He also, at this point, tells Mustang that Abominadrius sends his regards.
Yes.
And her reaction is, I feel like telling. I don't know.
Yeah. Right. For him being the spy or whatever.
Yeah.
The source.
Yeah.
What's next?
Do you want to talk about Darrow and Mustang flirting with each other a little bit?
Of course. We get a low Reaper, low Mustang back to the Institute.
We get a little sex talk.
We get some flirting, applause.
It's about the closest thing we'll get to a sex scene in the Red Rising.
Yes. We get Mustang like feeling nervous and then looking at Darrow like she's the only man she's ever seen before.
I thought that was great.
He's so hot.
Yeah. He's so hot.
And then like Mustang, not just flirtation, but just like the depth of love.
Yeah.
She shares how she's always pining and waiting for word of him, and he shares the message like to Pax, and
that was incredibly
sweet.
moving. Yeah. Their feelings for each
their
other.
Goals. Goals.
Is incredible. And it just like stirs up inside you. Like I love I think Pierce said like it stirred up the silt of love or something like that was like the language that he used or something like that. Like, and just thinking about that imagery where it's like a plain, unremarkable ocean bottom, but then it's like stir it up as soon as you see that person. That just, I don't know, that imagery like works really well with how love feels, I guess.
It does.
Which is really cool. So
can't wait till they are back together.
Yeah, for sure. That's going to be just
and how long
emotional
since that? So she saw him kill Wolfgar basically, and then hasn't seen him since.
That's the last time they've seen each other in person. Yeah,
or on a video chat.
Well, he got like the hologram of her in Dark Age.
Endure.
And then he watched like the video of her, but with the
Day Red Doves. Yeah.
It's
not good.
No, but like, yeah, this is the closest we've been to an actual
talking.
Yeah, interaction. Yeah. So that was great. That was just warmed my heart.
That's great.
I wanted to talk about just how delusional Lysander is sometimes. And just like, this to me is what makes him unlikable. Like,
just this.
No, I just like I can get why people like Lysander's extremely competent, right? He's good at everything. He always has a plan. He's always like figuring stuff out. He's very smart. So like that stuff in any other character is very appealing. So I can see like that aspect of him being appealing, but there's always this little extra twist with him where he knows what he's doing. He always like knows exactly what he's doing and how he's actually manipulating people to achieve whatever goal he wants to be. He's always like very aware of that, and it's on page and like in his head. And so that always makes me feel like oh, you little fucker. Like,
Yes.
just like, shut up. Like, you're so smug and happy with yourself all the time. Like,
right.
that aspect of him, I think, is like why just like the hate wells up for him. And there's like a couple moments where he's like, where he talks about how he doesn't take honors, and
He turns to face them.
and then he's like,
and they like it.
They like that. Yeah. And he's like thinking that to himself. And it's just like those little moments like that, and the way his tone and like feeling comes off in those, when he says stuff like that.
He's kind of like a psychopath.
Yes. Where it's just like, this dude is
It's
manipulating
calculating.
everyone. Yes. It's so calculating and manipulative. And then like he gets mad at like Pytha when he's like clearly like propagandizing to like these Reds and like lifting them up and saying like they're the new sons, you know, like whatever of the society. And she's kind of like not feeling great about it.
Well, because the guy's like burned half to death with
Yes.
no lips. And
Yeah.
she's like, this is getting weird.
This is gross.
Yeah.
And he's like thinking to himself, can she not see what I'm doing
Yeah.
here? Like, she will.
Well, and they have a
And-
weird relationship.
Yeah.
Did you point that out
Yeah.
on your Prime 5?
Mm-mm.
Do you remember, like, she wakes him up and then he talks about how, like, he loves Pytha?
Yeah.
It's like, you do?
I could see that just because like they spent so much time together.
Yeah.
But it's weird how,
But, like, she's a blue and he's a space racist.
but it clearly, when he knows a person, like it's different when you know the person, right? It's like anybody that's racist or something. As soon as they like actually get to know whoever it is they hate, they probably don't hate them anymore a lot of the time. Like,
Yeah. But
they
he
actually
loves Pytha.
yeah, I mean, I could see it. I mean, he spent a lot of time with
also,
her,
like-
and he was a boy, so
Just the boy.
yeah.
This whole time, this whole book, I'm disappointed in Pytha.
Yeah, until the end. Yeah.
Like, she's like fully on board
Yeah,
with
she should
all
be
this
better
shit.
than that. Yeah, and she's not. I feel like she's not quite on board with it. She's doing, but she
She is. She gets
she's
the
very.
tattoo. She's like
She's
the
complicit
captain.
in a lot of it, but I do feel like she sees like the grossness of a lot of it too.
But does she? Because she's still participating.
She clearly does in this moment. She like doesn't like this aspect of what's going on, where it's like
Sure.
it feels like fake.
But she's also like,
and-
okay, reconquering the moon and killing a bunch of
That's
people.
true. My question for you: do you think his tears at the honors, were they real, or was this just Lysander acting?
No, I think they're real to him. I think he thinks that this is all great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think they're acting.
I feel like it's like a mind's eye thing where he can like convince himself of
But mind's eye is
of
like
the real
separating.
feeling. I know, but it's like a similar where it's like an actor. He's a method actor where you can like really pull these feelings up. and
I feel
the
like
right
he's
time.
so delusional that
he's actually crying.
yeah, that's what I think.
I gotcha.
He's like, oh my God, I'm saving all these people. I'm
Yeah.
the savior.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know?
That is a good point.
Yeah. So next up,
And then our last item was just, I feel like we got a Red God preview
a little bit.
a little bit here.
What was it?
So we got a little information about like what Darrow and Lysander could be doing, I think, at the start of Red God.
Okay.
So
Let's hear it.
Lysander, he wants to show that he's an investment that's paid off. And by the end of the book that he has done that, like very, very much so. And then he says to Mustang, like he's going to call a referendum. And once he has the like support within the 200 and take away Atalantia's dictatorial powers.
Mm-hmm.
And then once her immunity's gone, he's going to call her to the bleeding place and kill her. So I'm wondering, is like, could Red God open
In that duel?
on that situation with him like calling?
Do you think that he
on this
actually meant all of
referendum?
that?
I do.
You do?
I do think he wants to kill Atalantia. Like he seems very pissed about her killing his parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we think Atalantia is as good a fighter as her sisters?
I mean, I bet she's pretty good.
Do you
Yeah.
think she wears the snake while fighting?
I just think it could open with like Lysander calling her that referendum like having that vote. I could see that kind of being like the opening to Lysander's chapters, and then very quickly we're getting like a Lysander Atalantia duel going on.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure. Are
Do
we
you
going
wanna bet money?
Sure, we can bet $5.
Great. If that doesn't happen, I get $5.
Okay. And so he's obviously like another thing that he did is he asked for oracles from Mustang. So like that's a Chekhov's gun that's sitting there and is going to be used at some point. Like we know he has oracles now, so there's going to be a conversation between Atalantia and Lysander with oracles on their arms, I feel like.
Sure.
So thinking about that,
Also,
like what kind of revelations are going to come out of that conversation?
When you just said on their arms, okay, when they were saying oracles, I was thinking of the whites that like run the duel, but no, the oracles.
Yeah, the little
scorpion things.
Yeah.
Didn't Virginia want those destroyed?
I think she saved some.
She said, I told you to destroy all of these when they had one on Lyria's arm.
Right.
And she like...
But they still have some.
I'm just saying, does she? She said she wanted them all destroyed.
Well, it was part of the deal to get Kavix back, so I'm assuming she did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great.
So thinking about that conversation...
So he's going to say, did you kill my parents? And
yes.
She's going to say no. And then...
Do you think that's the only thing that's going to come out of that? Or do you think that there's other revelations that could come to light as a result of that conversation?
That he actually enjoyed having sex with his auntie? Obviously.
You liked it, didn't you?
Didn't you?
It's just a fun thing to think about, I feel like. Not them. That was bad timing. But
the oracle.
Yes, it's fun to think about them going back and forth with oracles on their arm, like what that could look like.
What do you think will come out of it?
I don't know. I mean, like, what kind of information does Lysander have to reveal to Atalantia? Like, what are the things that she could ask him? I don't know. I think there's a million things.
Octavia's secrets. Or...
I think there's a million things that Lysander could ask Atalantia that would be super interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of Fear Night stuff. I mean, all kinds of stuff like that. But what the back and forth would look like and like what she would be asking him, I don't know. Because he doesn't know a lot, it doesn't seem like.
She could like ask him what's the mind's eye or something.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
That's probably something
maybe she has it though. I don't know. She could be one of the people that does know it.
You think? Uh-oh. Then when they go to the duel, he's thinking the mind's eye will save him, but then she knows it too. And then where will Darrow be?
And then, well, I was just going to add one more thing to Lysander and Atalantia, because I just don't think we're going to get like a big pitched battle between Atalantia's forces and Lysander's forces.
You don't?
I don't think we're going to get that.
You don't think the Golds are all going to kill each other off for us?
There might be some of that going on.
What about the eat me?
And yeah,
Atalantia could ask about.
I do think that it could come into play too, where
What's
it's like
called? Eyed me.
Eyed me, yeah.
I've convinced myself it's called eat me.
We decided we were going to call it eat me, so it's fine.
Just sticking to my word.
I mean, that could be used on Atalantia's group selectively, maybe. I mean, that I could definitely see that happening as well.
I think you have to pick a color.
Red God speculation.
Yeah.
But like, can you contain it, or will it just like completely run wild?
Yeah, right. I don't think he knows.
Yeah. Could like if you let it loose on a ship, would it just like
stay on the ship?
Yeah, I'm assuming it would.
Unless someone.
It's not like a virus can
crashes the ship.
Survive in space. I don't know. I'm not up to date.
It's a vacuum.
On that. Yeah. So those are just like I think that's some really good breadcrumbs for like Red God and what we can expect to see there, maybe.
That'd
or just
cool.
like speculate on what we might see there.
Or at least somewhere in Red God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our bet though is that it's like the first thing that happens.
That's a little unfair, but all right, that's fine.
With Lysander.
Yes.
And then breadcrumbs for Darrow.
Yes, and then at the end of Mustang's conversation with Darrow, she says she's like sending him an information packet about their enemies, and then in it is a set of coordinates. When you return, all Republic vessels not under Mars shields will rally to those coordinates with whatever ships you bring back.
I see.
So
A rally.
yes, we're going to have Darrow going to wherever that is. There may be some forces there already waiting for him. There may be some
Is it
joining
the
up at some
Trashmen?
point.
Just kidding.
Like, could those people? Could Rona have like busted out of Mercury and have it be on a ship back
That'd be cool.
there? I'm just trying to think of people who could all be involved there.
People who we know.
Yeah.
Is it Abominadrius?
I mean, there could be some Vox Populi forces over there,
That'd be
maybe.
bizarre.
That would be bizarre, yeah.
I don't think Severa would like that very much.
But who would he be meeting up there? And then, like, seems like that group is then going to get together and then launch an attack on the fleets around Mars or Phobos or whatever, depending on what the status of the Golds is at that point. So I think those are definitely where, for starting points, where we'll be at the start of Red God, maybe.
Do you have insider information?
Absolutely not. I'm just really fucking smart.
Nice.
No, I'm just kidding.
As you sound like Lysander. And they liked it.
And they all liked it. All right. That was our Prime 5. Now it's time to name our Primus of the Week, where we choose one character who conquered our proctors of plot and rose above the rest. Our Primus of the Week is
Mustang.
Yeah. We had to give it to Mustang.
Not bitch Lysander who got poisoned.
he got
like
poisoned.
a pixie.
We could have given it to Roan for poisoning Lysander. That'd have been fun.
Let's do that. Honorary Primus.
We appreciate the effort.
The effort. Although you didn't poison him enough, clearly. But yes, Mustang, she successfully negotiates a ceasefire. There's a lot of S sounds. She saves a ton of lives. She values lives. That's good. She's helping Lysander set up to fight the other Golds while she protects Mars.
They're trying to sow some discord in all of the Gold ranks there and make them fight among each other.
Yes.
Because Atalantia is ultimately the scarier opponent.
Definitely.
At this point.
And then she makes the hardest choice, which is don't come home, husband.
Yes.
Keep sailing.
Very unselfish.
Yes.
Hard choice for her.
Very hard choice.
So,
but the smart choice.
And yes, the correct smart choice. Listen to Mustang.
Well, everyone listen to Mustang.
As we've been saying for a long time.
Do we have any emails or voicemails?
We do. We'll start with Cassie P today.
Cassie P.
Some tidbits.
Hello, Howlers. It's Cassie here with a few tidbits for you this week. And before I get started, I just wanted to hang one more ornament on the tree that's in Ben's conspiracy corner. Even if he doesn't want to light up the tree anymore, I just got one more thought. So the thought is, what if Mustang is not Holiday's target? So she's there causing some trouble, but also just doing her part, staying in her role. And there's some other thing that she's meant to do. That's it. That's all for contributing to that corner. Alright, so tidbits. Let's talk mythology part 2. The Odyssey. So in this part of the book, Mustang describes Darrow, the one that she sees on cam, as an exhausted, bearded survivor stumbling home. I think that's a pretty good analogy or parallel to Odysseus. We all know how much Pierce loves the Odyssey and the Iliad. Odysseus comes home disguised as a beggar, looking all haggard. So this is spot on. And on top of that, Mustang makes a pretty decent Penelope. This is Odysseus's wife, who holds out hope that her husband is not dead, who fends off would-be suitors and protects the home front, who rides for only one man. And that would make Pax Telemachus, the son of Odysseus, who matures into a skilled, wily man. And in this case, the Pax with 3 identities, as Erin describes him. And then there's also a family dog, Argos, who dies upon seeing Odysseus one last time after a 2-decade separation, recognizes him even as he was in disguise. And my first thought, just for shits and giggles, went to Deep Grave Puppy as Argos in this analogy. But But here's another thought. Could it be Cassius, who dies in a relatively short time after ending a decade-long separation from his Odysseus? I mean, I wouldn't say no right now to a Darcius fanfic. Anybody? Ow. Darrow, it could be like Darrow after learning who the Bolognas are after the entrance exam to the Institute, accepts a second invitation from Cassius to go to a Pearl Club in Aegea. And to his surprise, it's actually fun. But he's still nervous, and he doesn't really want to mix too much. This just comes off as hard to get to Cassius, and Cassius finds this demeanor intriguing and makes a move, because who denies Cassius Bologna? Darrow's first instinct is to reject the advances out of hand, because Reds don't do this kind of stuff. But he's not supposed to be a Red, and he wouldn't want to be any more off color now, would he? Anyways, I promise that segments into the next tidbit. Red Rising romance. Pierce, as brilliant as he is, has never come off as a romance writer. Even during the romantic snippets in this series, I just never felt it. Like, in Iron Gold, I know Dido and Romulus had this incredible exchange, right? But it didn't hit me, I didn't feel it. Now that I think about it, I blame Lysander's narrator. Lysander just ruins everything. Fuck him. Anyways, when Mustang and Darrow finally got to FaceTime in chapter 34, I felt that connection. Mustang's whispered, "Low Reaper," made my heart clench, like I was reading Meryl Wilsner or Alexandra Bellafleur or something. In my head, I also heard this dialogue between a Darrow and a Mustang who were aware they're book characters. Darrow: "No, Virginia, I'm only 4 days away. That's like 1 chapter, 2 max." Virginia: "Darrow, I want nothing more than for you to be home. But you can't come home. Not until the next book. Or maybe book 8. So that's it for Tidbits this week. Thanks for having me. Love y'all. Hickus lupus, motherfucker! Oh!
Thanks, Cassie P.
We felt the love too, Cassie, between Darrow and
And
Mustang.
book 8 sounds great. Keep it going. Great points.
Great points. Loved all of those call-outs on the Odyssey.
Yes.
And I'm in for Cassius being Darrow's dog.
He's his dog. So it works out.
Appreciate you, Cassie P. Keep the tidbits coming. Let's move on to our next voicemail.
Hello, Howlers. This is Frankie up in Minnesota. Just calling to say I love your guys' show. It really makes my car rides a lot better. I'm in the car right now. Really wish I was rather on a hover bike, but Pax is on it. He's making me a new one. Just calling because my wife just got pregnant, and I'm trying to sneakily get her to name our child after a Red Rising character. Sadly, the only one she's liked so far is Atlas, which is scary, but, maybe my kid will grow up to be a badass superhero type thing. Who knows? Let me know some of your ideas. I'm really hoping she'll pick Daxo in the end. Thanks. Oh!
Frankie!
Okay,
Atlas could be a cartographer. Do people
it doesn't have to be a bad guy.
Do people use atlases anymore?
I don't know.
When John and I got married, my aunt and uncle gave me an atlas with like a set of pens to like mark all of our road trips together.
Wow.
And it's like big as fuck, full size map.
1967.
I know. I was like, do you realize that I cannot use a map? I would get lost. I need my GPS.
That's hilarious. I mean, Atlas doesn't always have to be a bad guy. He also held up the entire world, I believe, in Greek mythology.
But when you said think of a name, before you said Daxo, I was thinking Daxo.
Daxo's a good one. I like that one a lot.
We don't know your last name, so it's hard to know.
I feel like PAX is a good one too.
PAX is good depending on your, we need to know, how it flows.
I feel like
with the
PAX
last-
is gender neutral as well. You could go either way with that one.
Who else? Sophocles. Do we know that it's a boy?
No, I don't know. Oh, I don't think Frankie did not say.
Because she just got pregnant.
Yeah.
The way Frankie said that, I was like, are you the father? She got fucking knocked up, bro. Because Electra, she could fix the hatchet face stigma there. What was Victor's
Ephraim's not bad.
fake kid? Ephraim, sure. It sounds like biblical.
It does. It is a little biblical.
Yeah, hey, someone send in your ideas.
Yeah, let's all name Frankie's kid together.
Yeah, Frankie, whatever the poll is, you have to do it. I wonder if there's a way to combine different names.
For a middle name, I'm thinking HowlerPod.
Or Ben and Aaron.
Yeah. Daxo, Ben, and Aaron.
Daxa, Ben and Aaron Johnson. Also, a beautiful name for a girl is Virginia.
It is. It is.
So
Lots of options there. We'll continue to
you can
brainstorm.
shorten it to Gina.
Anybody else that if you write in for the rest of the Lightbringer episodes or call in, you have to also
name Frankie's kid.
name Frankie's child. That's a new thing. now.
It's a new segment.
Yeah. All right. We've got one last email here from Daniel.
Hey, Daniel, what's up?
Daniel was impressed with my voice acting. Thank you, Daniel.
Yes.
I was surprised at the lack of people making...
He said it wasn't that bad. That's what I'm reading. I
saw it as impressed.
Okay.
I was surprised with how many people didn't call in, complaining about my voice acting. So I was happy about that.
Or praising it.
Well,
we're glad to have Nick back.
I think people were praising it to themselves. They probably just didn't share it.
Sure. Yeah, they forgot.
Do you want to keep going?
Sure. So Daniel says, the look that Kuiper and the rest of the 13 gave each other to me was predators sizing each other up. Reminds me of the scene when Diomedes is showing the rim isn't to be pushed around on the Anihilo. I'm not against the psyche theory with Kuiper, but I think it would just be her being the best of Grey. Look at Holiday and Roan. Yeah, she's just like a badass Grey.
Mm-hmm.
Greys really are the backbone of this entire society.
And then Daniel's got a friend that's reading through the series. Couple friends, I believe. Lightbringer. They're on Dark Age, I think.
Yeah, he's been keeping us up to date.
Keeping us informed of their journey, trying to get them through Lightbringer. So once they get here, hi friend, start listening to HowlerPod.
And then Daniel also thought Loki was a bittersweet ending. So you guys should watch it.
Sounds good.
I was thinking about it. I don't want to recommend something that I don't love. It wasn't my favorite thing in the world. It was a lot of episodes were campy, silly. Mm-hmm. But I still, it's like a warm blanket.
There's nothing wrong with camp. I like a little camp.
It's not blow your mind good. I mean, the last episode was very epic, but the whole season's
yeah.
Anyways, thank you, Daniel.
Yes.
Were there any other
I think that's it for this week.
For the pod?
Yep.
All right.
You know what it's time for?
What are we into this week?
Erin, what are you into?
I've always loved HGTV, okay? And I've been really into Fixer Upper, the hotel. So Fixer Upper, it's Chip and Joanna Gaines. They have the Magnolia Empire.
Right.
And the hotel is their biggest project yet. And they're renovating this.
Let me guess, it's a hotel.
It's a historic hotel.
Oh.
And I forgot what year, but 1890 or something.
Wow.
They have a beautiful library, which is magical. I would like to go see that. They bought a bookstore just to fill up the library in the hotel.
Wow.
Like a defunct, out of business bookstore. And there were 3,000 or I don't know how many, 300,000, a fuck ton of books.
Yeah.
Books? A fuck ton of books inside. I just transported out of my body. But I love Joanna's style, and they're just so cute together. He's like campy. Every time Chip comes on screen, there's like humor. Funny music.
Yeah.
Like doo doo doo. Chip's on screen. But it's on HBO Max, and it's week by week. So I think I have like 1 or 2 more episodes. Nice. The guests are about to arrive. Got to get this shit put in order.
God. Timeline crunch.
What are you into this week?
I am into some new music that I listen to. So it's the holidays, right? And
holidays.
Whatever holidays you celebrate are great. Happy holidays. We celebrate Christmas.
Howler days. Oh.
And so
we celebrate Howler days.
I've been listening to Howler days. I get it. Howler days. I've been listening to Christmas music like a lot. Amanda, my girlfriend, she loves Christmas music. It's been on constantly.
Do you like the classics, or are you listening to like Ariana Grande's?
Both.
Okay.
She's very modern. I'm very classic.
Like with voice or just instrumental?
Oh, with voice, yeah.
I like instrumental Christmas music.
I've been listening to lo-fi Christmas a lot.
Oh, yeah. Chill lo-fi beats. That's my jam.
Anyway, so I was looking for new Christmas albums to listen to because I wanted some new Christmas music. Mm-hmm. And then I found this recent album. It came out in 2020. It's called A Joyful Sound by Kelly Finnegan. Joyful Sound. And it is a fucking banger Christmas record. I mean, it is like, it's neo-classic Christmas music. So it's just like new twist on old style, like soul Christmas music.
Great.
And it's just super well done. All new songs, like not covers of Christmas music. This is like original new Christmas songs. And I mean, it's fucking legit. It's like, it's going to get spun every year at my house from now on.
You bought it on record?
Not yet, but I'm going to.
Okay. You're spinning it.
Yeah. And I would highly recommend it. So if you're looking for some Christmas music this week, check out A Joyful Sound by Kelly Finnegan. It's fucking good.
Fucking slap. Yeah, that Christmas music.
I'm telling you, like, it's actually like
holiday spirit.
Good new classics.
Okay. I'll be the judge.
I'll
check
stuff.
It out.
It's good stuff. All right, what's coming up next week on HowlerPod?
We are starting, we're taking a break for
it's
the
2
holidays.
weeks.
2 weeks. Part 3, chapters 37 to 42, and back on January 5th.
Happy Howler Days.
Happy holiday T. Nakamura days. You're going to laugh in my face if she ever does anything shady. Okay, Howlers. Special thanks to Miles. We missed him being here this week.
So much fun last week.
We love Miles. Follow him at mbensky Designs. He does our episode art every week, as well as other art. Special thanks to Nick for the amazing voice work.
A very Merry Christmas to all HowlerPod listeners. Omnis vir lupus.
Subscribe to the YouTube. Like the videos. Share them. Follow us on Instagram, X, Facebook, Etsy, at HowlerPod. Email us, howlerpod@gmail.com. Leave a voicemail, 1-800-516-1540.
Still looking for a video voicemail.
Still looking for, it can even be a short one.
And
just say, hey.
Yes. And don't forget to name Frankie's child.
That our new segment. Call in and tell us why we should name Frankie's child. We don't know the sex or the last name. Tell a friend about the books and rate and review us 5 stars only. If you don't give us 5 stars only, then we won't wake you up from the lament.
Thanks, Allers.
OMNIS VIR LUPUS.
Ow!